Welcome back to the Brew Crew podcast, everyone. This is episode 179, and we're back on mainland time. We're here in the church room bar. Just everything's happening. I don't know if you know that. Everything's happening. Baseball's happening. We missed the slap because we weren't together last week. I don't really watch entertainment stuff, but there was a slap. Baseball's about to start. We had a fantasy draft. WrestleMania happened. We did our pre-production, talked about that, so we don't have to bore you with it. Just spring's about to begin. I think it did begin.
Really,
March 23rd.
It's
21st, whatever.
Spring is upon us, and really, and I made the joke during pre-production. Usually we keep things separate, but we actually have to pre-produce now.
Yeah.
Because JT's transition lenses take a little bit of time, so we actually have to kibitz.
Yeah. Here's a secret. If you ever see me without my glasses, it's probably because I don't want to wear them in the current moment because they're transitioning.
Two things from Island Time. Thanks for those watching it. One, I am working on a t-shirt. Somebody, Chuggalo Brandon said, I need a t-shirt for Island Time. And then Chuggalo Steb called me a caveman. I'm guessing that refers to the hair. It's the longest it's been in 20 plus years. Soon to be coming to an end, but I'm enjoying it while it's here.
That's great.
So, beer related.
Yeah, beer related.
I went over my island beer on purpose just so I could steal from this show so we could get more to. But one wears out, and we can relate because both of us, one wears out on the lack of assortment of beer, correct?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
It's beer is beer, but when your palate or when you need a diverse, it's tough. And tough being vacation, it's tough drinking like the same 4 or 5 beers.
I would say that if it's your thing, if you bore of it. Like, I don't think I bored of certain hard liquors.
Yeah.
But beer, because I like to try different beers, and I'm like, wow, I've had this beer every day.
Right.
It sucks. But if you're more of a hard liquor drinker on vacation and you just have the same beer every day, I don't think it matters to you.
And that's the interesting thing going to the Caribbean is much more of a hard drinker, whether rum, tequila, whatever, but like the mixed drinks, the assortment of, like, still if you're in your yummy beer phase, you can juxtapose it for a yummy liquor phase. Yeah. So that stuff is amazing. But then you're also at like $15, $16 a drink.
Yeah. You don't want to be
for like a little pour, when you're used to paying half
with
that.
ice. Yeah, you gotta tell them no ice.
Yeah,
I'm paying a lot for this drink.
And ice in countries like that, because you always hear about Montezuma's Revenge or whatever.
Yeah. Even in America, they say there was a side note here. I think it was Diners, Drive-Ins. It was either Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives, or
watch that.
It was the very limited time that Gordon Ramsay did a show where he did restaurant renovations. Yeah. It was like a show that lasted maybe a season, maybe half a season.
Yeah, I know what you're talking because we watched it. It's not Restaurant Impossible. It's like
that.
It's the copycat of that.
But he had said, either him or Guy Fieri said that the single dirtiest thing in a restaurant will always be the ice machine.
Yep.
Because no one cleans it. No one thinks to.
Because no one burns their ice out.
Yeah.
Because that's what you do at the end of the night, like in the ice chest or whatever at bars. You pour hot water in it, burn it out. But a couple of things, just in case you didn't watch Island Time, it's just a bonus content.
Bonus features.
One of my favorite stats about the Caymans is you can drink while driving as long as you're not driving.
Oh.
So you can have an open canister in the vehicle.
As a passenger.
So I bought a ginger beer, which something you can't get around here as readily as you can get at all of the other fine places in Grand Cayman. And I was so excited about it. And he goes, "Let me crack it for you." And I go, we got the vehicle. He goes, "You're not driving."
Yeah, nice.
So so that was an awesome stat. And then the other thing is finding a beer that you're excited about. So I did find the 1981 IPA, and as I said, would be a daily drinker back here. But as I took 2 bottles of bourbon down and I flirted with my weight limitations, that's the thing with bringing beer anywhere. It's not hard liquor where you get bang for your buck.
Yep.
I left a nice bottle down there for my gracious host, my father-in-law and his best friend. But bringing any sort of beer back, then you're like flirting with, where's your bang for the buck?
Man. It weighs a lot.
It's probably close to 5 pounds. I know my 2 bottles of bourbon were just over 9, but considerable glass bottles. It's not the liquid inside; it's the heft of the serving. So we were talking about WrestleMania, JT.
We were,
and I just drafted one important question to ask you, and we can ruminate on this if you want. Famous beer drinkers.
Famous beer drinkers?
Yeah, because Stone Cold Steve Austin is known for being a beer drinker.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Not specific to WrestleMania.
Not specific to WrestleMania, but I wrote it down. I go, who are famous people for drinking beer? Am I stating that right?
Or people either famous for drinking beer, or people who are famous but also known as part of their fame as a beer drinker.
Yeah. So this is, we haven't done a lot of we did during our live episode, which is hugely successful. It's been viewed literally 14 million times, all the way through. Who is somebody that is known or fits that, how JT and I phrased it, known for drinking beer or because they drank beer, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't want to steal. I have one other one written down. I'll cover it up because I don't want to steal. But Stone Cold is my example.
Yeah, Stone Cold's a good example.
So who, and we can just do it, just stop me during like the beer review or whatever and just be like, oh, Garfield.
Yeah, okay, I'll think about it. Yeah, okay, yeah. Well, that kind of just gave my mind a quick jog in cartoon land.
If you, I will put out this prize. If you comment below by the time we get to our next episode and you claim it, so if somebody claims Odie, I'm just
Odie.
We determine that Odie is the best, there will be a prize. I will send you $10 via PayPal.
So should I not answer?
No.
Keep it to the Chuggalos?
I'm going to do one other name during this because I don't think it's a good one, but I think it's a good example.
Yeah, I think there's some good examples out there.
So, again, I want like this to be proactive. I want to see, and you Google whatever you need to do or whatever, but JT and I are going to be the judges. We're going to do that. We're going to do that next week, and I'm going to make a note to make sure that we go over that next week. But how you participate is just by putting the information down below.
There.
Yeah, down under my table. If you're here next Monday when we record and pop out from underneath the table with the name, and you say Hillary Clinton.
Could you imagine?
That'd be freaky.
You could almost make the argument that Obama
could be
because in his first year, I believe he had someone over at the White House for a beer. Somebody who needed a dispute settled, I think. Do you remember what that was for? They had a beer, and it was an IPA, I think, is what they had.
Because we're all over the place. So I'm just gonna give the example that I wrote down. Norm from Cheers.
Norm from Cheers. The example I was thinking was Barney from The Simpsons.
Amazing examples.
Beer, Duff Man.
So yeah. So those are the three, unless we say two other names or whatever, maybe three other names.
Maybe.
But use your creative. So Stone Cold is out, Norm and Barney.
Yeah, I won't take any more out.
I might. But
maybe.
Norm from Cheers is 30 years old, so I don't think anyone's going to be saying that. Even though we've got some
That's a good one.
Listeners in their early 40s, like Chuggalo Dave.
What was the drink of choice for the mobsters back in Prohibition? It was hard liquor. Right?
It is hard liquor.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, on to our first beer. So I'm excited. This beer comes to us from my. And I'll tell you about a high pressure situation. This beer comes to us from my father-in-law, Chuggalo Todd. It's Raised Grain Brewing Company's Boxcar. It's an English amber. Again, something different. We'll go with the crack. Oh, mine was fine.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. So one of my favorite things was I told everyone, and everyone was sitting outside by the pool, and I was like, I'm gonna go record an episode, and they're like, oh, okay, that's awesome. So I grabbed all the beer or whatever, and then over the next day and a half, my father-in-law listened to the episode right when I'm sitting there.
Yeah.
And then my mother-in-law listened to the episode right when I'm sitting there. And it was only 10 minutes long. It was a short. But talk about a high pressure situation, and then I'm grading myself because I have 87 misspeaks in an episode. But when it's so containerized, it's like, oh yeah, that was wrong.
Containerized. I like that term. Very technical term. I did want to give an outshout to James. Learned that James is a Chuggalo. James is one of my brother-in-law's good friends, great friends. He's been a friend of mine for a long time, but not as great of a friend as he is to Bobby.
Yeah.
They were in high school together. I think, they became who they are because of each other.
Is he who you thought he were? Did you let him off the hook?
I did let him off the hook. He is not who I thought he was. But he was always been a wonderful person. So that at least has maintained throughout time. He is a truck driver, and he listens to the podcast and told me this weekend, I was in Chicago, that he has got other truck drivers listening to the podcast. So
that explains a lot of the numbers.
So I now know the importance of the audio version because I had previously deprioritized. I still do it, and I try to get it done day of or the next day.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, okay, we got to get it out there. I got to be better about that. And there's multiple people on the road probably right now listening to this.
Interesting.
And right now is relative.
Well, thank you, long haul truckers. My uncle is a long haul trucker. I don't think he listens, but I know how important the job is, and I know how squirrely your mind gets, judging by some of the messages I get from my uncle. But I say that with all love and respect. You guys do a very thankless job, you men and women out there, and it's a lot of time away from home. So thank you.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome, and explain some of like the weird downloads. Like, who listens to us from Utah?
It's probably someone on the road.
Yeah,
he told me some stories that, like, I feel like if you had a podcast, not that I want a competitor, but if you were a truck driver, long haul, and had a podcast, the stories would be almost unlimited. Like, just the one story he told me about driving paper.
Yeah.
He had these big reams of paper. Just like, it was
load.
Such a detailed and, hugely heavy. And he was telling, it was combined with a story about how someone was trying to do like an insurance thing on him, like hit the brakes in front of him. So there was like all these details about how you stop a truck with that much weight. And there's two types of paper rolls. There's big tall ones and half rolls. And like, there's all these details that he just knows.
Yeah.
I would never have known that. And that's one story.
Yeah.
Imagine all the stories these guys have.
I would go when I was younger, and my uncle, who's like my first hero, and just take a moment to like think of your first hero. So my uncle is depends where we are in the calendar year. He's either 10 or 11 years older than me. We're born 6 months apart, but 10 or 11 years. And so like when he got a brand new pickup, a brand new 89 F-150, like I remember watching that with him. It was just the coolest thing. And I was 6 at the time, but like he would bring me milk truck driving with him, and it's a very early day or whatever, and I just, sit in, learning tree or whatever. I just, some of my fondest memories growing up. Awesome. But anyways, I could talk about that forever. Yeah. So anyways, raised grain.
Raised grain.
So here's a fun story. Raised grain, this is Boxcar. It's an English amber. It comes in at 5.8%. It's a pint can. And here's the best part. We've done raised grain before on the podcast. Mm-hmm. I thought we've done them multiple times because this comes from my, we've done Against the Grain.
Yeah.
Raised grain, the only other time we've done it on the podcast, episode 9, back when we only did one beer a podcast. So back,
that's a long time
barely
ago.
2 months into the podcast. Sorry, Stacey. The reason why that's important is because this is from the town that my wife is from and my in-laws currently live, Waukesha, Wisconsin. So it's a proximity thing. Mm-hmm. But so my father-in-law brought this down for me a couple months ago. You can find out more at raisedgrainbrewing.com. I was like, I've done a website review. We've done raised grain multiple times. With it being episode 9, I know for a fact I didn't. Mm-hmm. It started in 2018, and their punchline.
So did we.
is elevating our craft. They're way more successful than we are, and they don't enjoy the benefits of being sponsored by Busch Light. It was started by a who's who of craft beer: 2 doctors, a professional cyclist, and a local entrepreneur.
Wow.
So basically, an unemployed guy got his rich friends, and a professional cyclist was like, "Let's do a brewery."
And these are medical doctors?
Yeah, they're medical doctors. I don't think they're a doctor of. I would sure hope they're not a doctor of literature.
But you could be, no.
But they could be.
They could be.
I said very confidently to your question. They're
when
medical.
You say doctor, I feel like that when you say generally, they're doctors, you mean medical doctor.
How pissed would you be if you were on a plane and you were having a life-threatening event and somebody goes, "Is there a doctor?" Because they would. And a doctor of criminology stands up and is like,
I'm a doctor. I have my PhD.
And all of a sudden you're getting traked with a Bic pen, and all you had was some indigestion. You didn't have any breathing problems. These are common fears.
No, you're just getting you're getting lectured.
Yeah, you better carry some credentials. If you're a medical doctor, even if you're a podiatrist, you've had some sort of medical training. Yeah. But if you're a doctor of Middle Europe Renaissance literature, you sit your ass down and enjoy your little bag of pretzels.
Read them.
Read. Just keep quiet.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I propose to you raised grain boxcar English amber. We haven't had an English amber in a long time, and we haven't had a raised grain in even longer time.
That's true. Here's the can art for those on the video. For those not watching the video, I'll explain it. So that is Boxcar can art. This is Can Art Bonus segment brought to you by
Chuggalo Todd.
Chuggalo Todd. Thanks, Todd. Not much can art to talk about. It's the British flag, which is called the Union Jack.
Union Jack.
Yeah. So in it's
which is even better because Grand Cayman is a British overseas territory. I didn't realize that by now.
Still, huh?
Where I
thought they gave up most of their territories.
Everything there is the Queen's Botanical Gardens, all that stuff. So
yeah, the Queen's.
They enjoy an interesting relationship, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. So it's basically gives you the illusion that the Union Jack was painted on maybe some wood or something, and there's some gaps in the paint. There's really not much to talk about with the can art, but instead, I know 2 boxcar references. Can you guess either of them?
Boxcar Racer.
Boxcar Racer, yes.
Was that
the
one
off
of them?
branch? Yeah, the off branch. Of course it was, because Travis Barker was in that band. Talking about drummers 2 weeks ago. Travis Barker was in Boxcar Racer. Was a band only formed while Mark from Blink-182 had back surgery.
Interesting.
And so while he could recover for a full year, this band wrote an album and toured. And then stopped. That was it.
And I like their music. Speaking of bands and stuff like that, how terrible our timing on Dave Grohl Finger Strainer.
I know. Just awful timing. Yeah. Oh, man. Taylor Hawkins was awesome. Great guy.
So, yeah, if you could because I know who he is, but we brought him up during that episode 2 episodes ago.
Yeah, so, Taylor Hawkins passed away. I think, I did not follow up much, but I think he had some cocktail of chemicals in his body.
The only thing I read with that is, it just says that things are present. A lot of those could be prescription and in prescribed doses. I'm not familiar if the toxicology is out. But that happened when we were on vacation. I was we just did Dave Grohl Finger Strainer.
Some people seem like they're past that point in their lives.
Yeah.
But you never know with rock stars, because sometimes they just play it off. But the Foo Fighters as a whole seemed like those days were behind them. So maybe it was, heart failure or something. I'm not sure. I never followed up. But I don't know that Taylor Hawkins was ever on anyone's list of best drummers. But certainly great.
Yeah.
And was multi-talented. He did, every Foo Fighters set included at least one song where he either sang or played the guitar. And he had his own band. Not many people know about. I don't remember what the part after his first name was, but it was like Taylor Hawkins and the Somethings.
Yeah.
So multi-talented guy just like Dave Grohl. And what's interesting about his role in that band is that Dave Grohl is a drummer.
Yeah.
No, he started as one, and he has to come into this band and be the drummer for the drummer. And every once in a while they'd switch roles. But yeah, he was awesome dude, nice guy, wrote great parts for the Foo Fighters songs. Yeah, and he's passed away.
And that's
we had a podcast named after Dave Grohl right as that was happening.
And that point of reflection comes from the best drummer that I know.
Oh, thanks.
And
in person, best drummer.
The only thing I have to say about it, because obviously it sucks. Go back and do yourself a favor and watch Everlong, because one, my favorite Foo Fighters song by far. Down in the Park is close. Just check out the video, because it's playing with dream sequences between Dave Grohl and Taylor Hawkins, which is fantastic. Yeah. And then they're morphing awesome and stuff song. Like that.
He actually named his daughter something like Ever or something.
Yeah.
That's her name.
But fantastic, and then obviously like the color and the shape, just
great album,
an amazing album. But so anyways, a little the timing couldn't have been worse.
The Virgins.
Put Hayden Panettiere on watch, because she was called out in our episode title.
Yeah, she was. But right after that, oh man, she had a whole thing. Right after our episode, we should start naming after celebrities. So apparently, she's in an abusive relationship.
Not with the Klitschko. She's with someone new.
She's with somebody else who has a criminal record and is abusive. And he got kicked out of a restaurant in LA. That whole thing's on camera. And Hayden Panettiere is like...
Good thing we didn't name last week's episode Hope Solo or something like that.
Right.
Because then the DWI and...
Oof, it'd be our fault.
So lots of divergent paths.
Of weird stuff.
I apologize.
I don't know. Oh yeah, Boxcar race. So the other one is the Boxcar, what is that called? Well, there's a book, a children's book.
The Boxcar Kids or Boxcar?
Yeah, Boxcar Boys or something like that. Where there's two boys, I think they're homeless, like orphans, but they solve mysteries. And they ride around in boxcars.
There's the Hardy Boys or whatever.
Yeah.
My father-in-law might know this, because he's a collector of fine books.
Yeah,
But it sounds like great.
It's a scholastic book, I believe. So that's in lieu of can art. That was a can art bonus segment brought to you by Chuggalo Todd. Raised grain. Yeah, I feel like I've had more raised grain. Do they sell raised grain here?
No.
No. Okay.
But it's one of those, again, we've had against the grain multiple
against
times.
the grain,
like
for sure.
Brown note.
Like brown note. Yeah. Against the grain's got recognizable can art. You'd always know.
This is a typical raised grain can, just subdued artwork with the
Did you say the percentage of this beer?
5.8.
5.8. That's not too bad. I feel like when people talk about British beer, there's this air about the beer, like, oh, it's better than American beer, and it's stronger than American beer. It's just beer you need to acquire a taste for. That's probably true. All the British drinks I've had, it's weird because British food constantly needs to be seasoned up.
Yep.
British beer seems to be not the opposite of that.
Well, it's
got flavor.
You need that to power down the food.
Yeah.
I was talking with our charter driver about how I have an affinity for a British breakfast.
I love British food as a whole. I want to go there just to do a food vacation, among other things. But maybe make one of those guys in the funny hats laugh. No, I'm just kidding. You can't.
When the Queen's
Don't do that. Don't do that. But this has a strong taste to it. This is not shepherd's pie. It has a punch, a malt punch. It's definitely malt, and it's got a sweetness. There's a sweetness on the back end of it that I'm not sure if I was expecting. I don't know what I was expecting out of this beer. An amber. I don't know. I guess I was kind of expecting a darker version of a Pilsner, but this isn't that. And I don't. Maybe that's my own lack of amber experience. This tastes like the amber in Jurassic Park that the mosquitoes were trapped in. That's what this tastes like. It tastes like solid tree amber, sap that hardened. This will definitely. This is what the kids in England are like. Fuck that, because this beer's got a lot of flavor. It's just not the flavor I prefer. Super malty. I think it's approaching a cook level that it's not quite porter or stout, but it's definitely cooked, and you can taste it. Boy, how do I explain it? I guess I'll try to pin the flavor. It's probably on the back end. It's probably like a caramel-like, but that might be the color amber playing with my mind. There's a sweetness in this beer that it just you don't expect when you get the front taste. And yeah, not really my thing. Glad it's a 5. Feel like this beer could be a 7. Not that it tastes like alcohol, just it tastes thick. And I think British people, they those pints, those big glasses, I think that there's an implied booziness to those beers. Maybe not though. I never asked how boozy are British beers. 325. It's not a bad beer by any means. It's just not my thing. And I think a 325 is not my thing. Oh boy, look at that. I didn't even see that.
So and that's why I do it.
Yeah.
Just so we can have this. So I don't need to take my pencil anymore. Off the top rope, I give this beer a 325. Mm-hmm. JT is a lot more complimentary in his 325. To me, this tastes like 95% water, and you put a little bit of flavoring into it. I don't think I don't feel like it's as strong. I feel like it's watered down. I don't get as much character from
I get the character
from British beers. I attribute British beers like British food. Like you're always wanting something more. And I guess that's because as Americans, we're spoiled a little bit more with our palates and just like our eyeballs and billboards and everything. Like everything is like constantly like turning it up to 11 and, you know, grinding out every little bit of enjoyment from everything. This tastes like it would be a daily drinker, and it's probably right within. It's not like an English amber with lactose and beet juice or something like that.
Suck.
Oh, by the way,
although lactose and beet juice might be interesting, just the lactose, an amber with lactose, probably not good.
So this is probably, again, JT painted the picture where we're different. This is probably what English amber should be. It's just not my bag.
Yeah.
And if this is your bag, though, like I would be curious to think what my father-in-law thinks and what Chuggalo Dave thinks from that, because I think both of these beers are in their wheelhouse where it's adventurous without being. I'm not trying to put a birthday cake in a beer and offer it to either one of those gentlemen.
That'd be awesome, birthday cake beer. I'm down for that.
Yeah, but they make birthday cake vodka, and it's not awesome.
It's not awesome. If you can guess what, so you said that you alluded to British drinks being bland like food.
Yep. But they're still enjoyable. They're hearty.
I experienced
savory.
My first British drink was not the case. It was crazy flavorful. If you could guess, I'll PayPal you $10.
What your first British drink?
My first British drink.
Blood pudding.
No. I had this in a British pub in Phuket, Thailand, actually.
Phuket.
So there was apparently a big All Blacks tournament that not tournament, but just that team, but a big All Blacks game, which is a rugby team in Australia or New Zealand. And the British pub in Thailand was hosting this tournament, like the TV viewership of this tournament.
Yeah.
And so I would just happen to be in Phuket at the time, and we went there and had Strongbow, and fuck that.
You know, I
don't like it.
I was gonna say Strongbow, but you said like magically flavorful. Because
I meant
not magically, but
overly
like
flavorful.
Overly flavorful.
Yeah.
Your words,
That's what I meant.
not mine. I ordered a Strongbow when I was down on the island.
Did you?
Grand Cayman. Yep.
What did you think?
Again, a British territory. I love Strongbow.
I don't like
Strongbow, and I've gone on the record as I transition from Bud Light into craft beer. My
did say that.
My craft journey was Blue Moon and Strongbow. And that's when Strongbow came in tall boy 4-packs. And people would show up with cases or racks of whatever, and I would show up with a 4-pack of Strongbow or a 6-pack of Blue Moon, and I did that for a couple of years, or a 6-pack of Sam Adams. And I would trade with people just to kind of like, but I remember drinking, I wish I would have said Strongbow because I just had one. I still love it to this day. I love that it's drier, and I like my ciders dry. I don't like them sweet. I don't prefer like an Angry Orchard or anything like that. Mm-hmm. That's why Blapple is so good, because to me it's a drier. It's not relying on sugar.
Yeah. I could see that. I wasn't a fan. Maybe if I had it now, it was definitely on tap. So I don't know if that made a difference. It was just too much for me.
I get disappointed in myself a lot. I'm disappointed that I didn't say Strongbow on that one.
That's all right.
But that's all right. It saves everyone money and then promotes me with shame. All right. Beer number 2. So again, thanks to my father-in-law for Boxcar, the English Amber from his hunting grounds. All right. Beer number 2, an OG of the podcast, Prairie Artisan Ales.
Another OG.
Pink Guava Funk. Oh, this is prime 2 cans in a row.
Mm-hmm.
3, 2, 1. So now you know why I did the beer. I went with something I knew wasn't going to be to something I'm expecting to blow up the palate, and not the inverse.
Not the inverse, yeah.
Okay, so this is Pink Guava Funk coming in at 6.3%. So that it's odd that the sour ale is higher, or the higher ABV. We've done Prairie Artisan Ales on episode 101 and 145, so I'm not going to go too much into the website, but you can find out more at prairieales.com. They're out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. Oklahoma's not as represented on this podcast as much, unless we're drinking Prairie. And this is deceiving, I did go to the website, they were top 100 brewer in the world, according to ratebeer.com.
Well, that's great.
Good job. They promote that on their website, so I clicked on it. They were last in the top 100 in 2015.
Hey, last of the top 100, still in the top 100. Someone's got to be last.
Oh, no. They were last in the list in the top 100.
They're number 100.
No. They were last present in the list in 2015. 2016 they missed out. 2017 they missed out. 2018.
Oh, they were last in the list. I got it.
Yeah.
They were last included in the list.
Yeah, they were.
That no way you say it. Isn't it both? Does it have
the last time they were a member of the top 100 was 2015.
Wow.
But it's still on their website. It's emblazoned.
That's
still an amazing accomplishment.
When I saw the beer that you had put down, I thought, I feel like Prairie's something that I've had, but I saw Oklahoma and thought, maybe not, because I don't remember ever talking about Oklahoma. But apparently it's an OG.
Yep. So again, episode 101 and episode 145. And again, you could go to their website, more of a whimsical feel, but that's, again, I gave a website review on episode 145. So the interesting takeaway, the top 100 according to Rate Beer didn't do a list in 2021 due to COVID, because they keep up with 66,000 brewers in the world and all these associated offshoots. We should go over the top 10 sometime. Just to see how many we could name. The top 100 would be, I already looked at the top 10 for 2020. A lot of what you would expect. in there. But anyways, I present to you Pink Guava Funk, a sour ale, 6.3%.
You do present. All right, let me do the can art. Here it is.
I'm so glad I did
for
the
those
this way.
Yeah, for those watching, here's the can. For those listening, here's the can art boner segment brought to you by Chuggalo Todd. All right. This can art is clearly drawn. It is a depiction of, I would say, there is no regional theme. Though you'd like to think it would be somewhere like India or, geez, I don't know. I guess when you think forests and you think large animals, you're really thinking India. Is there any other place that probably your mind would register with forest, like rainforests, and maybe South America, but that's mostly like cougars and cougars, jaguars, maybe snakes. So I'm thinking there's on this can there's a large group. There's a gorilla, giraffe. There's like a spider monkey, a cockatiel. Also, do you think that's a tiger or? This is
like an ocelot.
Maybe ocelot, yeah. And there's a lion, clearly by the mane. There's what is that? That's the Madagascar thing.
The night animal.
The lemur, maybe.
Yeah.
And then I don't know what that is. And the elephant. There's a lot of large animals, and there's some wooded area. There's some plants behind it. So I'm not sure what region this is supposed to be like. Where does guava come from? South America? If you put a guava in front of me right now and asked me to tell you what fruit it was, I wouldn't be. I don't think I'd know.
It'd be a fun drinking game.
Is it a big oval, green oval?
Name.
What does a guava look like?
A fist.
Looks like a fist.
Larger than a. I was gonna say larger than a guacamole. Larger than a.
Hey, holy guacamole.
Avocado.
Larger than an avocado, similar shape.
Yep, but more citrusy flesh rather than guac flesh.
Yeah, man,
I have no clue. It'd be a fun drinking game though to name countries where guavas aren't grown, and then just go around in a circle. Liechtenstein.
Liechtenstein?
Sorry, Stacey.
The Vatican.
Yep.
Are they still recognized as a country?
They are.
Good for them. So the only way I could describe this is if well, there's actually two ways. So I don't know the name of the cartoon, but like this would be a good Dilbert a representation of animals. Or if there was an episode, I think, where Rick and Morty went to an alternate universe where everyone was drawn really hastily.
Yeah.
That's what this reminds me of. Like a shitty Rick and Morty universe. Not like it's the drawing shitty, but like
shitty Rick
they
and Morty.
purposely made Rick and Morty look bad, drawn bad in that universe.
Like if you were in Phuket, Thailand, and somebody was trying to sell to you a knockoff Rick and Morty season.
The thing about the knockoffs in Phuket is they're dead on design wise. It's the size that's fucked up. Every size is 2 sizes less. So when you buy that large, just know that you're buying a small.
My father ordered a 2XL Hawaiian shirt from China, and it barely fit me. And my father-in-law is a power lifter. You know, he's got a 28-inch waist, but he's like 56 inches around the shoulders. Like big guy. Crazy spinach like Popeye arms. But it didn't fit him, and it was double XL. And like I would go like this, and I couldn't go any like it busted the seams.
Everything you get from Thailand will be like that.
Yeah.
When I went there, it was the height of the Ed Hardy movement for Marines. Only Marines wore that shit. And boy, did they have Ed Hardy knockoffs everywhere.
Yeah. F Darty.
Yeah.
Where they spelled it wrong.
That and there was the large Ralph Lauren polo Remember the large logo would be on the chest instead of the little one? They had a shitload of those. And Sangha. But anyway, yeah, this is like a knockoff Thailand art. Or, you know what this could be? You could take each individual animal and make them what is it called? Crypto art.
Oh.
God, why? I always know about this because I read about it all the time. Why am I blanking on it? It's like a 3-letter thing. NFT.
Yeah.
NFT. You can make each of these an NFT. It'd probably sell for like $40 million. That's the Cannon Bunner segment, brought to you by Chuggalo Todd. Now, if it was pink guava, I'd be like, man, I don't know about that. It's kind of funky. But because it's called Pink Guava Funk, they nailed the shit out of that name. Like this beer has funk. And it is like...
That's the best thing you've said in like 10 reviews. If they would have named it, I'm like, oh, okay, you hooked me.
I got you.
And then they're fucking nailed it.
It's funk. This beer has a funk. It's like this... I don't know how to describe it. It's... I don't even know. There's just God, other than funk, that's really the best word to describe how this guava comes off. Like when you drink a dank IPA, or when it's like I remember my first few IPAs just the first few that I ever had. I was like, all of these are like armpits. And there was no...
Oh, these are like...
I couldn't differentiate them because I was so new to beer. This beer has that funk. It's like an armpit. But it's a sweet fruit armpit. Not a bad armpit. I know that sounds counter to the term armpit. It's just got a funk to it. It's like you could... But you shouldn't do anything to it. You shouldn't put deodorant on it. Because this funk is right. It makes sense. And every time I take a sip, I'm like, whoa, that flavor was unexpected. The smell, I mean, it's not good. The smell is the worst part of this beer. Everything else is all uphill. And they don't oversweeten it. The fruit's there. It's a dank fruit. Guava is not something I have every day, but I imagine that if I was to have a guava or maybe some plain guava juice, it would be like this beer. I think it's true to form. Nothing fake in this beer. Although we know fake orange tastes like, we probably don't know what fake guava tastes like. I like this beer. I think it's got a real good flavor. It's very refreshing. It is funky. But that they tell you that up front. I'm giving this beer... Oh, wow.
It looks like a mini watermelon.
Holy shit. I do like this beer. I think you could iterate on this beer and make it other versions of it. I'm at a 4.5 on this beer. I like it.
Just going to go over the 8 benefits of guava fruit and leaves. May help lower blood sugar. I feel... May boost heart health. I feel healthier. May relieve pain symptoms. I'm painful because I'm not on vacation anymore. Oh, sorry, of menstruation. So that's not something I can. May benefit your digestive. May aid weight loss. I doubt that. May have an anti-cancer effect.
Wow.
This is like
anti-cancer.
My favorite is if you are allergic to this medicine, don't take it. Like
here's the thing: I never thought about this before, and I've never heard the term anti-cancer effect.
Central and South America.
If there's something that has an anti-cancer effect, and may have an anti-cancer effect, you need to proliferate the fuck out of that thing, whatever it is, because that's huge. Yeah. How is that not like, hey everyone, eat guava?
Yeah.
Anti-cancer? How many things have that written in its description? Seems like an oversight.
Crazy.
Anyway.
So you said it, and I don't want to bury the lead. We've got the funk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I thought of. So George Clinton.
Oh, nice.
George Clinton's with us. Off the top rope, this beer is near perfect. 4.75. It tastes like a alcoholic pink lemonade without being like an electric lemonade or a vodka.
Funk.
Yeah. This is this is freaking delightful. I bought this at Hall's.
You never know. So this can art, I feel like you gotta amp it up.
This is amazing. This is crushable.
Mm-hmm.
It leaves the palate. So like if you're not a big sour fan, it leaves the palate completely. Like I don't feel. Even if you like liquefied pink starbursts, like you're right there with this, and then added a little bit of funk or tang to it. This is awesome. 475.
So
this is fantastic. I remember every time with Prairie, Artisan ales, we've had a good time. I think this makes it 3 for 3.
Wow.
It's fantastic.
Coming out of Oklahoma too, man.
Exactly. You don't think of Oklahoma, and I know we've gone through games before. I think Oklahoma's up there with states,
Yeah.
Especially in that the flyover states. I mean, Oklahoma and Kansas would be right there for states that are like, they probably don't have anything.
There's no breweries there. There are Prairie.
Wow, it's just glad I have a bunch of those.
Yep. Absolutely fantastic.
So JT, now that we're done with the beer, do you have any more famous beer drinkers that you want to take off the Chuggalos palette? We got Barney, we got Norm from Cheers, and we got Stone Cold Steve Austin.
I'll just say Homer because also he's in the group, and I don't think I'm taking away from anything. Like no one's gonna give that because I gave Barney. But no,
I'm just gonna do one other name because I really want the Chuggalos to put together a coherent thought. I'm gonna take away Matthew McConaughey.
He drinks a lot of beer?
I've never seen him drink a beer, but I just feel like somebody out there is going to try to go all right on this.
They might. I think
I'm watching you.
I really like his part in Wolf of Wall Street.
Wolf, he's amazing.
God,
Wolf.
Such a good scene.
He looks so sickly, but
yeah,
because that was still Dallas Buyers Club.
Yeah, he was still in that mode. Man, awesome scene.
So Raised Grain, Boxcar, and Prairie Artisan Ales, Pink Guava Funk. Two diametrically opposed beers.
Yes. All right. You got anything else?
That's it, JT.
All right. I know we say no sports, but I've gotten some comments that some people, as long as we don't go crazy
and do 55 minutes of sports?
Yeah,
okay.
That they're good with it too. And because we
so
do
a minute
this,
55 hit your sports.
We do that, yeah. We do the 54-minute sports segment. We do this for football and baseball. And it's baseball season. We have to talk about it. We had our draft. We don't have to talk about fantasy. I was not able to participate, but I like the team that I auto-drafted. And I told myself this year
I didn't know you weren't participating.
Yeah, I wish that if you were here, I think I would have made it a point.
I was on the island.
That wasn't me trying to blame you for anything. I'm thinking.
I sure hope you're not trying to blame me.
No, not at all. I think I would have tried harder to be present if. And I sucked every year up until this year. I'm going to be great. Although they didn't draft my position. So we should talk about baseball.
Okay.
What are our predictions? I know I didn't give you any time to think about it, but I also, to be fair, have not thought about it.
Are we going to do World Series teams again? Because we've done that.
We're going to do World Series teams. We could do, if you want, we could do division winners, World Series teams and winner, and then maybe player things, but it depends on how long the conversation is. But I will say, I'm going to say it last time. I don't like that Shohei Ohtani is split into two people in our fantasy league. It's stupid. All right.
It's the only way they can make it.
So we could do division winners, or we could just go straight to the playoffs and say who the World Series teams are.
So we did World Series a couple weeks ago, and you kind of made fun of my teams. So
What did I say? I said
because I said Giants, and you were like, that's not going to happen.
You said Giants?
Yeah.
I don't even remember this.
And then,
that must have been the time we had that 16%. This is Czechoslovakian beer. Or whatever it was.
The Ukrainian.
Yeah, Ukrainian. That beer was crazy.
It was that episode.
Yeah, I don't remember that conversation. I don't remember you saying Giants are going to go to the World Series.
So now I'd like to rethink that.
All the moves have been made.
Yep. I'm still going to go with the Giants.
Okay.
And now I'm going to go Blue Jays.
Giants and Blue Jays. All right.
Just because I want to be zany. I don't want to go safe. By the way, on ESPN, ouch out to the Brewers, they have the 4th highest playoff predictor.
Really?
Out of all the teams.
Well, yeah, the Central is pretty shitty. I think the Cubs could be a spoiler, but they'd have to really, really be good. They'd have to put it together. And I don't know that they can for a whole season.
So, but this is the beauty of the pot. Name whoever you want.
Yeah.
Because I think you did Dodgers and Rays.
I thought you did the Dodgers, but apparently you did the Giants.
Yeah, I did the Giants.
I probably did. I think that the Dodgers are just too good on paper. Fuck the Dodgers.
Walker Buehler, now opening day starter, first time in a long time.
And Kershaw's still there.
Yep. They signed him to a team-friendly 1 year, $17 million. Albert Pujols is making his 22nd consecutive opening day start.
Albert Pujols for the Cardinals.
He can thank that to the DH. He's
yeah.
only surpassed Pete Rose.
Like
Pete Rose
did we talk about that?
Pete Rose did 23. Yeah, we're both vehement against it.
Yeah.
You're very just more concise and more eloquent with your words than I am.
Pitcher should hit. I actually think the Padres might win that division. They went and got Sean Manaea. I think that's a great trade. I think I picked these two teams last year: Padres, White Sox.
Maybe that was your pick. Maybe it was.
I think I picked these last year.
Oh, it was only 3 episodes.
But I really do believe in the White Sox. As hard as it
unknowable.
is to believe in them, I think they're just too good of a team. And the Cubs just don't have the right pieces to even win their division. Padres, White Sox, World Series. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those are solid. I mean, I went with Flyers, the young chippy upstarts.
Yeah, I like the Blue Jays. They got a good team. Yeah, I think Trevor Story made a mistake. That's it. He's on my fantasy team as well, so hopefully he didn't make a mistake.
I'm pleased as punch with my offense.
Yours looks good.
Pleased as punch.
Your team looks good. Pleased as punch.
Excited. And then, because I've been telling JT for 3 weeks to remind me, tomorrow, if you have T-Mobile,
Yes.
MLB TV for free.
Yes, tomorrow MLB TV and
For
unlike
free.
most T-Mobile Tuesdays, they will give you a week instead of 1 day.
Yep.
So you will get not just free for one team, the whole MLB package,
whole MLB
completely
package.
free. We are not sponsored by T-Mobile, though we should be, or MLB.
Yeah.
God, could you imagine if we were MLB sponsored?
No, they would put us on.
It'd be us and John Boy, and it'd be like we just take over the world with our podcast.
Then you'd be listening to the baseballs.
Oh, you'd have to. You'd have to.
And then we could play the Cup Snake without being
Best bleachers to build a cup snake. That would be our segment 3. It's always Wrigley.
Spoiler. All right. God, that's a good beer.
Yeah, that was a good beer. That's it. I don't really have anything else.
No, I'm still coming off. I got home yesterday and I had to detox off of Island beer. So I had a couple of like rich, just decadent beers to re-educate my palate to the mainland.
Yeah. Still thinking about. I put some thought into the Christmas in July. I think it's a go, but we need to figure out how to get accessible beers. That's the problem.
There's a lot of truckers out there that need.
A lot of truckers, a lot of Wisconsinites, a lot of Illinoisans.
Part of me is thinking we just go and bring our own
Like
stools
we
and
do
sit
it.
at Pat's.
Ooh, I like that.
I mean, it's all there.
Do a Pat's
He
drink day.
He does. We'd have to sell it. Like I went there Sunday because Pat put beer to his side. I know we're gonna put a plug on this, but
No, it's alright.
his it was right behind the counter. I go, hey, I'm here to pick up the beer for Matt. It wasn't Pat working. Sure as shit, broom right there.
Boom.
Walked in, walked out.
If you are a trucker or you're someone who travels, Hall's Corner Store, Hall's Corner Market.
It's semi
It's
friendly.
accessible.
So
I don't know about for a truck, but
Not
you
for a
take
trailer.
the trailer off and you just take the front part there.
Yeah.
You're good.
Just the tractor, no trailer.
Yeah. Just a tractor.
But yeah, like if there, it's tight in there. But if we could just belly up somewhere and chill some beers ahead of
If
time.
you can get that 5-minute spin cold thing like that Barrel House has, we could go there and probably do a full thing there.
We could easily do a full, and like I said, he pulls from a lot of places too, and it's a guy that just gets free pub for us. We get nothing in return.
We should do it.
But thoughts, things to consider.
Things to consider. How do we get beer for everybody?
We need to concern us with all the global Chuggalos.
And no dad. No Rheingeist dads this time.
No, yeah. Don't get that twisted. Just Rheingeist.
Oh yeah, dads are allowed.
Yeah.
It's a drink.
Yeah.
No dad, no beer dad.
Because you hawked the dad out.
Yeah, we got that out, but there was a few.
But there was a couple other ho-hummers that we didn't want in there.
No.
Anyways,
that's it. That's episode 179. Another great episode. Let us know what your thoughts are. If you have a famous beer drinker, put it in the comments section. Have a cool name like Pingus Dingus. And that's it. Episode 179. I don't know if my head's in there.